What's up, friends? Today we are here on the Exway Flex Pro, and if you guys have not seen the video on the board that preceded this, which was the Flex ER, I would suggest you go check that out in the iCard, as I'm going to be making a lot of comparisons from this board over to that older one. Now, the Flex Pro is, like I mentioned, meant to be an upgrade to the original Flex ER in almost every way, except for the battery. So the Flex Pro has an upgraded speed controller. It has slightly larger wheels. It has the R3 remote, or sorry, the R2. I don't know. It has the newer version of the remote, and it has a newer deck. So it's pretty much a different board, except for the battery. The battery is exactly the same, which is going to be a 12S 2P of Samsung 40T cells. And to be honest, my expectation for range on this thing is going to be worse than on the original Flex ER, because while more powerful controller with the same battery generally equals less range. So with the Flex ER, I was able to get 14.3 miles, squeaking out the range. So I would expect to get 14 or less with this board. Obviously that will depend a lot on how you ride, because if you're riding casually, you might get similar range or even the same range. So we're gonna have to see when I do the range test on this what we come out to, but the rest of the upgrades I think make it worth it, even if you have to risk a little bit less range. So let's talk about the first major upgrade, which is the deck. Let me adjust my camera, make sure you can see down there. The deck on this board is much nicer, in my opinion, than the Flex ER. Now, the Flex ER has these two big flanges out here on the edge, and the Flex Pro here, they're a lot less, what's the word? They're a lot less pronounced. So for me, on the Flex ER, the deck did tend to get a little bit uncomfortable over time, but I think this one will be a lot more comfortable for me. And you can see this is definitely a flexible board, and I can bottom out the enclosure pretty easily. So if you're a heavier rider, you might encounter some extra scrapes on the bottom of your board. But overall, the deck is a great improvement. I really like the flex of it. I think this is probably one of my favorite flexible decks besides the original boosted Vanguard decks. So yeah, good job Exway on that one. I wish the standing platform was a tiny bit wider. My toes do stick off the edge a tiny bit, but it's not too bad. It's definitely not a skinny deck per se. So, new speed controller, huh? Let's see what it can do. We're gonna go into speed mode 1 here. And just for reference, I do have all the safeguards turned off and all that. So speed mode 1, that's full throttle. It's a nice casual, this is my first time riding a board kind of mode. Goes up to about 7 miles an hour, it looks like. All right, let's go to speed mode 2. Nice strong brakes. Here's speed mode 2. Not too bad. Decent acceleration for a second speed mode. That goes at 15 miles an hour. Now, let's turn around and we can go to speed mode 3, which is going to give it a decent more pep. A decent bit more pep, rather. Let's see, not enough space here? I think I do. All right, brake. Man, those brakes are super strong. It's pretty easy to actually skid the tires, or the wheels. All right, here's speed mode 3. It's definitely faster than anything the Flex ER can do. We're at max speed there, that's 21 miles an hour. Let's hit the brakes. Ooh. Man, easy to skid the wheels. So, speed mode 3, pretty good. Honestly, most people would probably be fine just chilling in speed mode 3 most of the time. I think speed mode 3 on here is actually faster than speed mode 4 on the ER. Also keep in mind, I'm pretty sure the Flex ER does not have turbo mode, and the Flex Pro here does. So we're gonna switch to turbo mode and see what that can do. I already know turbo mode is kind of crazy for a urethane board, so we're about to find out, see what that 0 to 20 is. I think I have enough data to get the 0 to 20 on that speed mode 3 test. So let's go ahead and test out turbo mode here. All right, lean forwards. Oh my God. Okay, yeah, that's pretty zippy. I actually wasn't even quite prepared for that, so I couldn't full throttle. All right, let's try that again. It's a huge kick off the line. I'm not sure if it's quite as refined as I expected. All right, ready? 3, 2, 1. Oh. I can't do full acceleration in this lot. I did max out the actual throttle wheel there, but got too bumpy. So we'll have to test that out on another smooth space. But man, that's a lot of acceleration for a 90mm wheel. And the reason I say that is because on small wheels like this, it's a lot easier to get messed up by road cracks and bumps than it is for large pneumatic tires. Like, I don't think I would even blink twice if I had that kind of acceleration on a board with pneumatic tires, just because I'm not even concerned about hitting pebbles and stuff. But yeah, so moving on to the wheels. The wheels on this thing are ever so slightly bigger than the Flex ER. These ones come in at 90mm. They're also Exway wheels. And I also think that they are the proprietary core. Let me pull over for a second and let me see if I can tell. So if you guys recall, the Exway wheels on the Flex ER actually don't have a Kegel core. They're proprietary. And let's see. Yeah, this one looks like it's proprietary as well. You can tell because of the number of pins and how close they are together. So if you're looking to put Kegel wheels on this board, you're going to have to get a separate pulley from the one that comes stock. So keep that in mind. These wheels are pretty decent as 90mm wheels go. I think orangutans are probably more comfortable, like a 85mm orangutan wheel, but they're pretty decent. I might try putting the Exway Hydro wheels on here just for kicks to see how they do in terms of acceleration and stuff, because honestly in speed mode 4, I don't know if I would actually take off full speed every single time. I might, but with the Exway Hydro wheels, it'll dole out that acceleration a little bit, and you'll be able to go over more things than with the 90mm wheels, because the Hydro wheels have good grip and pretty good rollability for covering rocks and stuff like that. So let's see, what else is different? Already talked about the deck. Nice flex to it, good amount of rebound, nice and springy. Speed controller is new. I mean, the main thing is it has a lot more power. The adjustability is the same. So if you go into the Exway app, oh, that's another thing. The Exway Flex Pro and the Atlas Pro both use the X Skate app rather than the Exway app. So if you have a previous Exway board, you're gonna have to get a different app. You'll have to go through the pairing process, which is pretty simple, and you'll be using the X Skate app from now on. And the X Skate app is pretty decent. It's got a map, you can track your rides and stuff. It's got a lot of cool features, and I'm glad the Exway has that as an option for you there. And it's definitely an improvement over the old one. So check it out if you've got the Flex Pro or the Atlas Pro, and I'm sure you will enjoy using that. In that app, you're able to configure all of the riding profiles just like you were on the Flex ER and previous Exway boards. So I've actually gone in there and made sure that all the acceleration for turbo mode, and the braking is at maximum. So we're testing everything at max power today, which is exciting and fun. And we started this ride with full battery. We're gonna see, I'm not sure how far I'm gonna go yet, but we're gonna see how much battery it takes. And like I said at the beginning, I'm expecting to get around 14 miles of range or slightly less, just because of my experience with the Flex ER. Again, comparing a lot here, but most of the stuff is the same. I actually think the gear ratio on here is the same as well. And we're actually going up a gigantic hill right now. I'm interested to see how well this does. This is the hill from, actually, over a year ago, I did a Maker X V3 ESC review. And this is the hill that I did my board testing on to try and overheat the ESC. So we're going up that right now. I'm not quite at full throttle, which is great because that means that the board still has more power to give above what I'm asking it. And comparing to the Revel kit on this hill, it struggled a lot more than this, which, you know, is to be expected because that's a direct drive, but doing pretty good. This is a steep hill. All right, that's almost max throttle. I'm still kind of new on the Flex Pro here, so I don't want to go too crazy. But I think we're going about 20 up this hill right now. This is a pretty serious hill, so not bad. This thing's got some good power. We're actually not going to come down this hill. We're going to go over this hill and come down the other side. But man, I'm impressed. I'm going what I would say is comfortably fast up this hill. I don't really, at least on this platform, feel the need to go much faster than this. Again, probably going about 20. I would probably go about 30 up this hill with my DIY boards, but they're much more stable, and most of my DIYs have stiff decks, and pneumatic tires. So those are some things to point out there. We got some wind up here. Not bad at all. I'm gonna pull aside here. Nice. That was a really good hill run for this board. Drivetrain all looks good. Let's feel the motors, see how warm they are. Oh, they're decently warm, probably 50 degrees Celsius, not too bad. There's a lot of skidding on the wheels back here, probably because I was spinning the wheels a little bit beforehand. Yeah, I really like this board so far. I'm going to take a picture for the thumbnail of this video, and I'll be right back. All right, we got the thumbnail. Now, what else to talk about on this board? Talk about the trucks a little bit. They are the same as on the Flex ER. I'm fairly sure I think they're 10.5 inch, 45 degree forged / CNC trucks. And again, some of the best default bushings on a board on this Flex Pro. They are very nicely responsive, got a good amount of carve, but also a good amount of stability. Now, I think the top speed that you would actually want to hit on these is probably around 30, which is a little higher than the top speed of this board, actually. I believe top speed is 28 still, but I've only taken them up to about 25 so far, and they felt good up around there. Starts to get a little squirrely because of the flexible deck. I know some people are like, oh, I can go 40 miles an hour on a flexible deck and double kingpins. Yeah, well, not me, and I don't want to. So, yeah, anyway, probably stable up to 25, maybe a little bit more sketchy up towards that 28 region, but overall the trucks feel really nice, bushings feel really nice. And if you come to our demo day in May, I believe it's May 14th, second weekend, we'll be doing a Exway demo day, and you can test this board out and see for yourself. I've been having a fun time on it so far. Everyone that's tried it is impressed by the power of it. Again, this is all relative, but the power is great for a board of this spec range, and I think a lot of people will be very happy with the power and performance of this board. Now, of course, the thing, man, those brakes are so good. I like it when you have brakes that can skid your wheels. Makes it comforting to know that you are the one that is in charge of holding the traction rather than hoping that your brakes will stop you. Because if you can overcome the traction of the material of the wheel, that means that your brakes are doing a good job. Now, like I was saying, I think this is a board that most people will be very happy with. If you're upgrading from the Flex ER and you want some more range, some more power, this is definitely the route. If you're looking to get this for more range, this is definitely not the route, because it's pretty much physically impossible for this to have more range than the Flex ER, purely based off the fact that this is more powerful. Now, there could be a possibility of some usage characteristic where they get the same range, or this gets better range because it's more efficient at lower power, but I really doubt that. And it's not something that Exway is claiming, so we're not going to worry about that situation. Trying to think if there's anything else to talk about. Really been enjoying this board. I know it sounds overly positive, but a lot of the products that I review on this channel are ones that I think that I would like, and I like doing positive reviews because I'm generally a positive person, and it makes me feel nice. So anyway, there are a couple other Exway boards that I'm going to do short videos on. I'm not actually decided if I want to do a full review on this board or not. I don't know if I'll have time, but I have the X1 Max, which is the hub version, the hub version stealth board, and it's got an integrated deck and stuff like that, so I'm going to do at least one video on that one, but we'll see what happens with the Pro. If I don't do a full review, I'll do like a mini summary or something like that to give you guys the P spec and all that. And pretty soon here we're going to be doing a Exway performance comparison across the X1 Max, the Flex Pro, the Flex ER, the Atlas Pro, and the Stoke. Sorry, not the Stoke, the Wave. And that will be pretty interesting to see how those different price points and types of boards compare in terms of the P spec performance score. So anyway, I'm going to keep on riding, and if there's anything else that I think of, I'll come back and talk to you guys about it. So we are actually going back down the hill that we came up at the beginning here. I thought we weren't going to, but since we are, this is a good time to test out the brakes of the Flex Pro. And like I've mentioned a couple times as we're riding, the brakes are quite good. And we're going to see if they can stop us on this hill completely once we get to the more steep part. Actually, let's try on this shallower part right now. I'm not full braking because I don't want to skid the wheels. Perfect. They can almost completely stop us, but unlike the Meepo boards, there's no brake hold function here. And I actually kind of remember seeing one in the app, so I'm going to check it out real quick and see if there's a brake hold. Yeah, let's try out the brakes on the steeper part of the hill and see if we can come to a stop. I believe that we'll come to almost a stop, but not quite. And that's almost full braking, full braking, full braking. Pretty nice. Honestly, I'm happy with that. I only weigh about 175-ish pounds. So heavier riders might have a little bit more tough of a time stopping on a hill like that, but not too much of a problem for me. You can see this hill is pretty steep, so main thing is, can it slow you down enough on a hill to stay safe? And for me, that is definitely true here. All right, let's keep riding. That's 28 miles an hour right there. I think that's topped out. Woo, man. Yeah, these trucks are not bad at all, not bad at all. I rate it. One thing I will say, I'm going to do a 0 to 20 right now in top mode. Well, never mind. I didn't hit full acceleration there, too rocky. But anyway, what I wanted to say is I've been speeding along here. I just hit the top speed of, I'm pretty sure, 28 miles an hour. It felt like it didn't have anything more to give. And one noticeable thing about this over the Flex ER is that the higher speed torque and consistency is much greater. So I can easily hold 25 miles an hour going up this slight incline. And to do that on the ER, it had to try a lot harder. It just didn't feel like there was much more to give. But with the Pro here, I mean, I'm holding 25 and I still have a little bit of throttle left. So that's a good comparison to make. The power band on here is much better. Get more higher speed power than you used to. So keep that in mind when you're thinking about the power difference between the ER and the Pro. Alright, so we're going to do some riding closing thoughts on the Flex Pro here. Now, having ridden the Flex ER, I can totally appreciate the upgrade that this new ESC brings, especially the deck. I think the deck is the #1 upgrade. Again, probably one of my top Flexy decks besides the original boosted Vanguard deck. Now, I guess it's loaded Vanguard, but it was on the boosted board, you know what I mean. Power is great, especially for a hobby wing board. Power delivery is smooth and predictable, and it's just a great upgrade. Now, the price, I can't remember off the top of my head, so I'm gonna have to put it on the screen. But if you can afford it and you don't mind possibly losing some range, right now we're at 9.3 miles, and we have 2 bars of battery left. If I recall, on the ER, we started having some power loss at 1 bar. So if you don't mind missing a little bit of range, this could be the board for you. Deck, great. Power, great. Not really too much to complain about. I've not had any issues with it so far. You'll have to do your own research for other issues, but I'm going to continue riding this. Not 100% sure if I'm doing a full review on it or not. It'll depend on how much time I have. If not, I'll let you guys know on socials how my experience was with it. So if you enjoyed this video, go ahead, give it a like, subscribe to get some more Exway content. There will be more coming up in the future. And stay safe, keep on riding, and peace out.